Iconoclast Speaks.
Hello and welcome to the Iconoclast Speaks. I am the Iconoclast, along here with F-Boy.
There you go, man. I'm not drinking beer tonight.
Cool. Well, then I'll drink a seltzer. So this episode is brought to you by the Disco Ball Man comic book, only available on Amazon, either the Kindle or as a paperback. So go check that out on Amazon.com. So one thing I want to get settled before we get started on our topic. Those of you who are listening to the podcast can't see F-Boy, but those of you who watch the videos on our Facebook page, I've had a few people ask if F-Boy was homeless, and no, he is not.
Nope.
He actually has a couple homes, and he's very successful, and he does not need your food or money.
Boom.
So he's good. He's good to go.
That was rude. Whoever
Yeah.
said that. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care.
5-6 people.
I'm not offended.
Good. So we're going to talk about edumacation.
Education.
And
we need it.
yeah, everybody does. And I have a lot to say about education. You know, my wife has a degree in both elementary ed and deaf education.
Okay.
And she is a teacher.
So
and
it's-
I have 5 kids, all of which are in school right now.
Yeah?
One who's getting ready to become a freshman in high school soon.
Okay.
So
What's your experience so far, as far as, like, with your kids, and then also, like, your experience for your own education?
All right. Well, like as you know, my wife taught down in Florida, and then we started having kids. So then she stopped, and then as our kids got ready to go into high school or into school, not high school, but into school, we moved up to Maryland, and Maryland schools are really good, and the schools in this area are
They're
really
better
good.
than Florida schools, you'd say?
Yeah, I would say. Like,
Why?
Well, I mean, they're rated higher.
Okay. But, like,
the
do you have,
schools.
like, any kind of, like, reason
Well, I
for
mean,
that?
when my wife taught down in Florida, a lot of the teaching was done to the test, so they taught you to take a test.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's changed, but I know a lot of teachers teach to take tests, and the schools push like these standardized testing, and they teach the kids how to pass this test. Not necessarily to be critical thinkers, not
Yeah.
necessarily to learn or how to learn, but it's how to take a test. And I guess I haven't been involved in the Florida schools in a long time, so that may have changed. But I know that also there's Common Core now, which I think is just plain ridiculous.
I've heard of it, but give me like a quick little wrap up of what that is.
Like basically, let's say 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah.
All right, everybody knows that.
Wait, don't they like make it into like a difficult like
Yeah,
like they
really
just like make it like over the top like here's 50 different steps to get 2 plus
2 is 4. Yeah, it's a dumb,
Yeah.
stupid equation, and it's really stupid. And you're like, what? And it's just 2 + 2 is 4. Learn it, know
Yeah.
it, understand
I
it.
bet there's like I feel like there's like a reason to that is like they want to build systems in our life where we're continuously doing more work,
Right.
where we're just being conditioned to work and work and work because
To be like a drone.
pretty much.
Like in an ant colony. Well, like I said, so my kids started going to school up here, and they were doing fine. One thing we did is we moved from one part of the county to another, so they had to switch schools when they were kind of young. And my one daughter, my oldest daughter, she stresses about tests. Now, it doesn't matter. She's smart and she knows it. If you ask her any question, she can answer it. But if you say this is a test, she freezes up.
Yeah.
So we noticed that trend when she took tests, she was doing really bad on tests. But if you asked her the questions randomly, she could answer them and give you the right answer. But then, but schools won't go do that. They're like, well, no, she has to take the test. And then that's when she, so then.
But I'm going to play devil's advocate.
What?
Maybe she needs to study a little bit more.
She didn't. Because if you asked her the question, she knew it.
Yeah.
Well, but if you put it and told her into this, she's gotten better at it. But
Yeah.
she would freak out about it being, because she'd put so much pressure on herself that I have to pass this test.
Yeah.
That she would
I think she
freeze.
just has more of like an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
Like for me, like taking tests, like if it's like for like I can't get motivated about like taking a math class because I'm like, this isn't making me money. This isn't. I'm not helping anyone.
But you're learning
Like-
to count money.
But I already know how to count money. Like I already learned that. So like doing
You've
that,
mastered
like
that.
doing that like at like a college level, it's funny. Like I almost have my associate degree, but I just need to finish my freaking math classes. And that's all I gotta finish. But I have like no passion towards math. Like I like to read, I like to write, I like to market things. I have done sales and been in the health and fitness industry like most of my work life, and like being around people, helping people, and just like having fun is like my main priority, traveling. And I feel like we're like the school, we're losing touch with what the whole purpose is. Like I think the purpose of school should be, hey, let's figure out what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
Not, hey, you need to do this math test. It's
Yeah.
like, why do I need it? Like, at least explain, like, hey, you should be able to, like, break it down to, like, a kid. Like, okay, so your dream is to be a doctor. So for you to become a doctor, eventually you'll have to take these set of math courses. So you're going to have to figure out how to, like, crush it.
Yeah.
You know, like, find a way to, like, I think that's how, like, maybe Lark, or, was I allowed to use her name?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Would probably get motivated by like, cause she crushes life, I think. So
Yeah.
like she's always like thinking of ideas on how to be successful. I feel like she's like she's gonna be an entrepreneur when she's older. I can see it.
Yeah.
But I bet like for her, she's not gonna get motivated by like a test, but maybe she can get motivated by like.
She gets motivated by projects.
Yeah.
Like if they had a photography project and she crushed it. She went out and had this great idea and she did it. And I think like I agree with you. Like when I was in school, I absolutely hated school because I was one of these people. If I understood how a problem was solved, I hated homework. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I understand addition. I don't need to do 50 addition problems. So then, and it's really funny because when I was in like elementary or in grade school, like they thought I was like a idiot, and because I would not do any homework,
Yeah.
and so my grades were like really low, and because I just never turned in homework. I just wouldn't do it. I was like, I understand it, but then if they looked at my tests, I was getting good enough grades that but I'd maintain like a C, a low C, because did no homework. So they're like, oh, maybe he needs to be in special like directed classes because
Yeah.
then he could excel. Well, if they put me in there, I still wouldn't do homework. So then
Yeah.
I'd still be a C student.
When I was in honors classes, I did better than I did when I was in merit classes. When I was in merit classes, I usually got like D's and F's because I was like,
Yeah.
But I feel like I kind of like, I become who I surround myself with. So like when I was in those like honors classes, I was like, I don't want to be the dumb kid in this class.
Yeah.
Like so like I worked harder. So that kind of stuff always motivated me. It's kind of interesting to see like what motivates a person because like for me, like in second grade, we had a green, yellow, blue, red card system as far as like your behavior for the day. And each day that you landed on green, you got a feather. And we made these hats. And we had our own Native American name. My nickname was Thunderbolt, and I got a feather every single day because I just knew how to listen to the teacher, like I just knew how to not be an asshole pretty much, and just like listen to her directions, and I was like, okay, like I wasn't smart really. I didn't have the motivation to be smart as far as like learning math or like writing or learning cursive. I was just like, I'd rather just have like a good conversation with someone. But every single day I got a green card and I looked like freaking.
They thought you were.
I looked like a
genius.
chief, and like Robert over in the corner looked like Pocahontas with just like one little feather.
But
It's
now
funny.
he's a doctor. And
No, I don't know what he's up to.
he's still in the corner.
I
With his
remember. I
window-
remember in kindergarten he peed his pants and he was sitting next to me and we were sitting Indian style. His name was not Robert. That's a
Right.
fake name.
Yeah,
But
sure.
yeah.
Sure it is. No, like, well, I think I agree. Like, I think what I've noticed as my oldest Link is going. Can I use his name? Is that
Yeah,
right?
you can
All
use your son's
So
name.
he's getting ready to go to high school, and I'm a big advocate of like school choice and the voucher system. I think that's great. Like, if you know, like, your student or you go into high school, you know what you want to study, what you want to be, and he does. He's really motivated where he wants to go.
Yeah, he wants to be a cop in the military, right?
Yeah, he wants to be a military, and he's like, that's what he wants to do. I was like, all right,
Sick,
man.
cool.
And he's like, he's researching what branch of the military he wants to be in and stuff.
What's
like
he
that.
leaning towards right now?
He's between Air Force and Navy, and I think
Smart.
that's kind of my influence because I was like those seem to be the coolest.
Yeah.
I know there's Marines, and they'll be they're
Yeah,
cool, but
freaking Marines and Army.
they go in
They're
first.
freaking ballers. Like, they're gangster.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, I go, if you want to
you-
be like in the fraternity of the military, be an Air Force guy.
Yeah, you
Because
get
those
red,
are-
you get
yeah.
lobster. And
Yeah, you get oh
like
my
the best
gosh.
food, the best
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to try and do.
Yeah, so he's looking at that, and so when he was filling out his high school stuff, they have courses that kind of gear towards where you want to go, and that's something he want to do. And then I noticed that he's going to be going to multiple different high schools, so it's not
He
just
is?
yeah.
Wait,
'cause
what schools is he going to?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I just know that like on one day,
Is he in the public school system? Or
yeah, he's going to be in the
going back
public
to
school, yeah, because like we homeschooled for a while, and then Carly got a.
I didn't know Frederick County was doing this.
Yeah,
It's Frederick
she-
County, right?
Yeah, it's Frederick County. So she got, the teaching job at the private school. So they all went to the private school, and as they get out of 8th grade, they're all going to go to public school in Frederick.
Yeah.
But they go to their main school, and then he gets a shuttle to these other schools to do other classes that aren't at that school. So he's going to go there for like homeroom, and then he gets shuttled to this other school, and he takes 2 classes, and he gets brought back to his home hub or whatever. And then the next day he goes to a different school for these other classes, and he gets brought back.
That's cool.
And so-
That's really cool.
And I didn't know they did this, but I was like, that's really cool. I like how they're doing that because, like I said, like there's some schools, some high schools that are really good at art. So the school you're going to may not have a great art program, but the one over there does, and they, at least
That's
here in
really
Frederick
cool.
County, they're doing
I
it.
like
I
that.
don't know that that's happening around the country.
And they'll probably even raise the rate of people going back to college,
Yeah.
just because it's kind of like
It's-
you're probably going to keep kids motivated as far as like, okay, maybe school is something. Because like there's so many different things now. Like you got Udemy, you got Khan Academy or whatever it is. Like you have so many resources online where you honestly don't need
Yeah.
school unless it's like something like being a doctor or a lawyer or something where you need like
Yeah, I mean, even for like what I do, because I'm do video and film, production. Now they even have lynda.com where you can learn any editing and photography things. I mean, I think I don't remember what the monthly fee is, but it's not a lot. You go on, and they have these people who've been doing it for years that
Yeah.
teach you. And
That's
you can,
cool.
And you can be like, and I've taught myself like After Effects and some things. Like I'd learned them, but it had been a while, so I went back and I was like, okay, and I relearned After Effects, and I now I understand how to do 3D stuff again and stuff like that. But even like photography, they'll go over how to set up a camera, how to set up a shot, and it's pretty, and they're very in depth, and you don't necessarily have to go to college
yeah,
if you know what you want to do,
that's cool.
and
Yeah, like the only reason I was going to school is because I was like, I really like the idea of playing a college sport, and I haven't given up on that dream, but I was like that's honestly like the idea of school to me is like that's like I've always in my mind is like I'm gonna be my own boss, and I'm like not gonna I just don't have any passion to be led by someone else, I guess.
yeah,
And so like school to me is like I don't need school to like be an owner of something or
right.
You know, like it can help. You learn different things, but I think actual experience, like whatever you want to do, whatever you want to be good at, you just gotta actually do it, even when you suck, and just keep
Right.
practicing it.
Yeah.
And eventually you get there.
And I get, like you said, like certain things you have to learn. But let's say, like for me, I wanted to get into film and video production, stuff like that. So for me, learning calculus that's nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
And in fact, like I went to school to learn video and film production. And when I got, my first job was at a news station, but then I went and I got a job with the PGA Tour, and my mentor there is Tom Dodd, and I was one of the first things he told me when he was an editor, and he was really good. I wanted to be an editor. I was like, because I just thought it was really neat. It was really cool, and it was just at the verge of digital editing, which before that it was tape to tape. So I was right when it was switching over, and he told me, he goes, everything you learned in college about editing, I want you to forget, because I'm going to teach you how to actually edit.
Yeah.
And he goes, I went to college, and he goes, it's nothing like, he goes, don't even care about that. Forget everything.
Yeah.
And then he taught me how he edited, and I learned from him, and then I saw how some other people edited, and then I started taking how different people did things, and I created my own way of doing it. And that's basically what he was saying, is like, learn your way to do it, the way you like to do it. And
Yeah.
and that's really
That's
was like the best thing I learned, and that was after college. And sorry, Mom and Dad, that you spent all that
a lot of
money.
money. And that's what I learned, like with personal training. Like when I took a certification, and it was like cool information, but it's like no one's really asking where they're.
Dog just ripped one.
Yeah.
But
Latimus Dorsey is
Yeah.
they're not asking these different questions. They're like more focused on like, hey, I want to lose weight, or hey, I want to gain weight, and I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm gonna find a way.
Yeah,
And then
and-
boom.
well, that's the thing.
It's
Is
just
like
practice.
you can't stick any one person in any kind of like, this is how this will work every time for this. And I think a lot of times schools do that. Like, here's the standardized test. You have to be here in order to get to here. Well, not necessarily. Like this
Break the
this
rules.
guy and this guy are two different entities, two different individuals. And I think a lot of times in schools, we don't look at individuality. We'll look at mass.
Yeah.
And like, here's how we get the masses from A to B. Well, this guy, he just left the masses, and he's going route C, D, F, G, A, and now he's at B. And through his whole route, now he's the leader, and he's the boss, because he saw beyond what the masses were looking at, and he went his own way. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of like successful people like Elon Musk, those kind of guys,
Yeah.
they
But we
didn't
also have to
follow
define
that.
success. Some people just aren't motivated by money. Like they're cool with like 30,000 a year, and like,
Well, I think
or like 20,000 a
well,
year.
I think
They might be good.
success is wherever you feel happy,
Yeah.
where you
or
where we-
joyful.
yeah, when you feel like comfortable, not necessarily comfortable. I don't think it's really good. That just means you're not expanding.
Yeah.
But
I think
like
stress
when
and
you,
fear is super important.
yeah, but I think when you reach a level where you're like, you love what you do, that's a success. And
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that you're a billionaire or millionaire, but like you enjoy what you do. Like I enjoy my life, so I feel my life is very successful. There's still things I want to do,
Yeah.
and I'm not comfortable, and I'm not like, this is the be all end all. I'm like, I have ideas of things I want to try, and I'm still doing them.
And then there's also people that like we even look at where we're like, we hold them up as like some god or whatever. And we're like, man, like if I could only be like that. But like deep down there, it's like, shit, like they're super depressed. Like they don't have like good relationships. Like, and like so their whole life was so focused on like work, and then they forgot about like all the other the reasons why they were working. The reasons they were working so hard is like, oh man, I want to make all this money so I can go vacation with my family. But then they're like, I can't vacation. I got to keep on working. It's like, well, when can you, like, do you have money? I'm like, yeah, I got lots of money, but
I need more.
I need more.
Well, I mean, I know someone, and I won't
always
say
need more.
who that is, but this guy, he
What's
had,
his name?
No, I'm not
I'm
saying
just
his name.
kidding.
So he is very successful, and he actually had an amazing mansion on a very well-known golf course. And like, if people would look at him and think this guy is living a dream, well, he was never home from Monday through Friday. He was always working. And then when he would come home, like, he was just, he expected perfection from his family, so his family would be stressed that he's coming home. They'd be cleaning everything.
Oh gosh,
and then
that's
the
stressful.
whole weekend he's there, it was very stressful. And then he'd leave, and there'd be like a sight, and he'd
Everyone's
be gone.
relaxing.
And where, well, he had this awesome house, and I remember sitting there one day, and he goes, my next house is going to make this one look like a shack.
Wow.
And I was like, thinking in my head, I go, dude, this is an amazing house, and you don't even enjoy it. You don't
Yeah.
like, you're thinking, my next one's going to be better. Like, you don't even appreciate what you got. And he now lives in an even bigger house. It's like practically a castle.
Yeah.
But
maybe he did. Maybe he.
But he's
did
still the same way.
appreciate- Yeah.
He still disappears. He's working his butt off,
Yeah.
and he has this castle, and he's like, and I bet if I talk to him, like, oh man, this house is, oh, my next one's gonna be, and like, it's always.
Does he ever like mentioning like, oh, like that he's not like happy, or like does he seem passionate?
He's passionate, but I don't think he has joy. I think
Yeah.
he's lacking. He's missing something, and and he just he's seeking it, and I don't think he's found it.
Yeah, and that's interesting. It's like that joy should be like another topic that we do sometime.
I think we will.
Um,
But that's
but
good.
yeah,
So I mean, that's it. So I think that we've.
I think we covered.
I think
a
we
good
covered
bit.
education. What you guys can let us know what you think about education, what education systems you've been involved in, and whether it's homeschooling or private schools or public schools or whatever other kind of schooling there is. I have no idea. But tell us your experiences. We'd like to hear about them. So if you're on our Facebook page, leave it as a comment. If you are listening to us through iTunes or Google Play, find us on Facebook. It's the Iconoclast Speaks, and we have a page. Join us and join in the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. So until next time, have a good one.
Peace.